This year's Mexico travel series is spiralling ever closer to its conclusion. From the urban sprawls of Ciudades Juárez y Obregón, the lesser visited legends of Parral and Los Mochis, to the dazzling duo of Guaymas and San Carlos, the northern states of Mexico have continued to provide me with a side of the country very few have the opportunity to see. After staying in the iconic Torreón for 5 weeks, I'm revisiting the state of Durango. Last year, I visited the mysterious Puente de Ojuela, a famous bridge leading from a pueblo fantasma to a formerly active mine. Mapimí is just 10 kilometers further up the road, and, as with Real de Catorce, could be the Pueblo Mágico to end all Pueblos Mágicos. And it wouldn't be a Mexico video without intense summer heat, a monolithic mountain, obligatory gorditas, an abandoned church, and traipsing into the wilderness with reckless abandon. It's time to bid farewell to northern Mexico. So hi everyone, and welcome back to the state of Durango, a rather windswept state of Durango in northern Mexico and the Pueblo Mágico of Mapimí. It wouldn't be Durango without starting a video in the middle of nowhere, so that's why I'm at the Cerro de la India. Look at this! So if you're a long-term follower, you'll know I film many videos in Pueblo Mágicos, but I normally start them like in the centre of town, which is over in that direction. We're heading back there in a little bit. We've got Mexi dogs barking. There was a guy here a minute ago like honking his horn, selling ice creams to the little kids. This ginormous hill, or actually I would call it a mountain, and as you saw in the intro, I was in Puente de Ojuela last year, and it's kind of in that direction basically. You go sort of up that way in a way when you go to the bridge, and you can see over there there's a little church, a little yellow and white sort of abandoned derelict church. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Listen to the silence. We've also got Mexi dogs, of course. Blimey, it is windy, isn't it? And apparently this hill, or mountain, or whatever you want to call it, is where the name of Mapimí comes from. So I believe there were 3 indigenous peoples who were originally from this region, and in one of those languages it means high hill, high mountain, high stone, something like that, which you can pretty much understand. And actually, if you look at it from the other way, so if you turn your phone on its side, I was told this morning by my driver who brought me here, more on that in a little bit, it looks like the profile of a face, like lying down. You can see the nose. Isn't that cool? When I was walking here, it did take me a while to figure it out until I did that, you know. And this hill supposedly is why it took a while for the Spanish to actually locate Mapimí and exploit it for its mining and mineral resources, because of the sheer scale of it, you know. I think this is the Durango Pueblo Mágico equivalent of colchones, estufas. And of course this area is what you would find in a Pueblo Mágico, particularly outside the town. You know, everything is done with volume, like the ice cream guy with the kids and that guy as well. You have these sorts of houses, which is very nice considering the area we're in, but of course you also have mainly sort of breeze block houses with water tanks on roofs, rather basic living, you know. So I think this one, this huge grand house, is a bit of an exception actually. What you're seeing is a very common attribute of Pueblos Mágicos, which may not be covered elsewhere. You know, up in that direction that we were just in, it's all very basic, as I said, but as you get closer to the centre, you do start to see these more slightly colourful buildings with more manicured streets with these lovely trees and bushes and things. And there we've got that pink building there. It very much reminds me of Nombre de Dios, which is another Pueblo Mágico very close to Durango, about an hour away. And it's kind of similar, you know, the central area is very much looked after, but similarly, as you come out of that central area, it's kind of like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that area, you know. I'm just down this pretty little alleyway, lovely. And if you're a new viewer, you may not know that Puente de Ojuela and Mapimí are very special to me because, well, particularly Ojuela, because I would never have come to Torreón if it hadn't have been for filming that video in Puente de Ojuela because I wanted to be closer to there to film the video. So I stayed in Torreón for a few days, woke up one morning and thought, I'm going to film a video. Next thing you know, I've been back 3 times, been in newspapers, everyone's recognising me on the street. It's crazy. So Mapimí, coming back here, that's an additional special meaning for me. Coming back here, I've never been here before, you know what I mean? For me, this is very much what a Pueblo Mágico should be. It very much reminds me of Jerez as well, and Guadalupe, both in Zacatecas, just because of the feel of it, and you know, all the food places, the gordita places and taquerias, and the colours of the buildings. So this is pretty elite, isn't it? There's this area here, which I'm assuming at some point all these things will be open, and there's a library there with free Wi-Fi that doesn't work, brilliant, and also a gordita place. But I can't eat gorditas all the time, can I? I think I can. When you're in Durango and this part of Mexico, absolutely, you can eat them for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Pretty much what I do anyway. Look at it, Pueblo Mágico. The guy back there was just trying to encourage me to go to Zona del Silencio, the Grutas de Rosario. I can't speak today. All the other like touristy places around here, and also of course Puente de Ojuela. Oh, look at this, Angel. It's a kiosk going to Pueblo Mágico. What a shock. We haven't seen one of them before, have we? I'm being sarcastic. You may know this is one of my final Mexico videos ever after 4 years. I might come back in the future, you never know. Pueblos Mágicos have always been something that I've enjoyed and something that I've loved, especially over the years. But this year, you may have noticed I have developed a bit of a love-hate relationship with them, because I feel like the more I've experienced them, the more I've understood about the whole concept of them and what's behind them. The fact that history is different. When you go to each one, they're not all the same, and I have had some slightly poor experiences this year in places like Orizaba and Creel. So this is really the Pueblos Mágicos redemption storyline. Hopefully Mapimí can make up for everything and take me back to the days of Real de Catorce and make me love them again. And so far, I do like it. There's the Coke truck over there, but I don't mean to be a Karen. That shop is called Karen over there, but I'm going to complain to the manager because someone has drawn a ginormous penis with 2 big balls on that statue. In all seriousness though, that was a tongue twister. I've just tried to say that about 4 times. This Pueblo Mágico really does personify everything that I feel a Pueblo Mágico should. It's real, it's authentic, it has so much history. It hasn't got that element of tacky tourism that unfortunately you do find in some. And I say tacky, that's tacky for me. It doesn't mean it's tacky for you. Like someone like Orizaba, families with children love that sort of thing. But there are no pink flamingos here. At least I haven't seen them yet. Oh, that shadow's annoying. Also, so is my shadow. Mapimí joined the Pueblo Mágico initiative, program, whatever you want to call it, in 2012. Nombre de Dios was in 2018. So they are quite recent in Durango, which might explain some of the lack of development outside the central area. I'm not sure. Speaking of food, I don't care what anyone says, but I'm going to this taqueria here, but I am going to have gorditas. There's one particular one which is iconic to Durango, which I've had before, but I'm going to have it again. Perfecto. Okay. I've got a ginormous fresca. There's the menu up there. And another one a little bit closer. So yeah, all the classics: asado rojo, verde, picadillo, discada. I'm getting huevo con chile verde and also discada as well, which is the iconic Durango one. Oh, gracias. Gorditas again. Now, of course, we've had gorditas about 73 times in previous videos, so I'm not going to go into these in too much detail, but I just want to highlight the discada. There we go. This is what I had in Nombre de Dios at Doña Alejandrina, which was one of the best places for gorditas in Mexico. It's basically, traditionally, it was produced or cooked on like this metal disc where they put all the different types of pork. So you've got things like sausage, jamon, things like that, different types of meat, specifically pork, and it's all cooked on that wheel thing like a disc. It was like a farming thing, you know, the thing they like plow fields with, and as a result you have discada, and it's really typical in Durango and also Coahuila, like Torreón, you know, it's kind of the same place, you know. You don't really find this elsewhere in Mexico, I've noticed. I've never seen discada anywhere else. I could be wrong, probably am. Let's tuck in. It's very hot. Caliente. This is the best. Heaven. Yeah, all that pork. You know, sorry vegans, but it is a meat eater's heaven. Salchicha as well, sausage. Next up, we've got huevo con chile verde. I don't think I've ever had this before. So basically egg with green chilies. Nice. It's like scrambled egg with chili sauce in a gordita. Again, top tier elite. Okay, let's walk off the gorditas. We've got all these minerals here. I've been on many mine tours, including Puente de Ojuela, where you do see a lot of the minerals that are in the area, even like things like topaz, onyx, etc. But we're going to go to the church, the Iglesia Santiago Apóstol. Sorry, the accent is on the first O. Right, the doors are closed, which can usually only mean one thing in Mexico. Cerro. Fuck. Oh. First time for everything. So I was going to say closed in Spanish, but my double R didn't work. Sometimes that happens. Another empty church in Mexico. Silence. Churches in Pueblos Mágicos in Mexico are generally a little simpler, oh I'm echoing, than, you know, your big cathedrals and grand churches and things like that. Which kind of goes with the tone of a Pueblo Mágico. With those very smooth walls that you get on all the buildings, you also get them in churches. Yeah, it's all very nice, isn't it? Church number 9 million in Mexico. Lovely. Oh, brilliant. Ah, that's better. Oh my god, the heat again. I forget how hot it is in this part of Mexico. Close the door nice and quietly. I think the there's Oxo, but the next building or the next place is the Museo Benito Juarez. This is a nice green building, isn't it? I'm going to go back to the Museo Benito Juarez a bit later because I think you have to do like a tour, and if you're studying English, right, you might relate to this. When I have to speak Spanish and listen to Spanish all day, it does get exhausting after a while, so the last thing I want right now is a Spanish listening lesson. But what I wanted to say about getting here, so if you want to know how to get here, check out my Puente de Ojuela video. I'm kind of going to say the same thing. There is no easy way of getting here unless you have your own transport. So there are no buses from Torreón or Gómez Palacio and Torreón. Yeah, so you have to really have a contact. So I found a guy on Facebook who was a taxi driver. It's very easy to do. I'll show you the page now that I used. You get a response really quickly and people are really happy to help. So yeah, obviously price is negotiable, you know, but it's not straightforward. Just taking a break from the sun with this Mexi dog. Hello. My life will not be the same without these beautiful fluffy angels. Hello. Now, as much as I love graffiti-ridden alleyways in Ciudad Obregón, I've got to say I do like these blues. They're very nice, aren't they? Different shades of blues. Or is that green? I am, I think, blue-green colourblind, if that's even a thing. Sabrosos, raspados, de frutas naturales. Oh, fuck. Classic middle of nowhere in Mexico, little raspados place. And of course, mango raspados, which is literally going to save my life. Because look at this weather. She put like about 6 spoonfuls in here, with the ice obviously. Who remembers slush puppies as a kid? It's like a slush puppy, but better. Salud. This is the best. And it's not just crappy old mango juice, it's like, it actually tastes of mango. Shocked. So I thought I'd go for a walk back to the India with my raspado. And oh look, a little toy car. But look, Brilliant. Oh, actually, I can go this way. That's all right. Okay, there's a bit of a smell. I can see bones, and there's also where there's been a bit of a bonfire, also with bones. Are these human bones or not? Oh, whatever. So I couldn't get out the other side because it turns out I'm not a rock climber, so I come this way instead and found the cemetery, Pantheon. It's locked, so I can't get in, but behind that tree, like, imagine the setting if you were a corpse. Sorry, there's been too many bones and dead dogs lately. I've become rather morbid. Yeah, imagine being buried here, basically, with that setting in the background of the amazing hill. Come back through this area. We've got a horse. Hello. We're back here again at this monstrous mountain. And there's that church up there. Should we go there? Let's try. Oh, crap. This feels a little bit like that place I went to in Chihuahua. The peaks of the moon. But fortunately, the church doesn't look too far away. There have clearly been fires here, or bonfires. Not quite sure what the purpose of that was. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. I've walked alongside a barbed wire fence until I found the gate. I think we're going to do it. Look at this. This is what I call the final Northern Mexico video. That's for sure. Look at this. There's Mapimí. You can see the church over there. Look at those mountains in the distance. It looks like something from Star Trek or Star Wars. Come on, David, you can do this. You've done worse. One final push. And here we are. Oh, look, there's a gecko or lizard thing climbing up there. Oh, it's a reptile angel. And as you can see, it is locked. Also, the main door is locked too. I wasn't expecting to be able to get inside. There are, however, condoms, and they're not empty. Clearly, someone did not get lucky. I'm just sitting here reminiscing and having a cigarette. In the distance, I don't know if you can hear it, there's this odd humming sound. Is it a UFO that's in the Zona del Silencio? Probably not. Dust devils in the distance. I think they're dust devils. You never know, it might just be a car driving through the sandy bit. I don't know. But there's also like this haze, you know, this sort of blue haze almost along the bottom of those hills or mountains over there. I wish like you could see with my eyes right now. We've been all over northern Mexico, but this is where it comes to an end. Your story's over, bitch. Muchas gracias to the gorditas, abuelitas, Mexi dogs, beautiful fluffy angels, and cringeworthy Mexico YouTube couples, because without them, we would have not made it to this iconic location in Durango, which is reminiscent of the aforementioned Real de Catorce, when I walked to a ledge and said, this is where I want my ashes scattered. It's rather poetic.
So what's your conviction? What is your truth? What's your prediction? To know for what is. But we make our own dreams. It's perfectly clear.
So I've just got some epic drone shots as planned. Yes, that's why I came here, to get some drone shots. But I think we have just rediscovered why Durango is literally God mode Mexico in terms of states in Mexico, because oh my god, these shots are iconic, even if I say so myself. I've got a few hours until my lift back. I don't know why I have to justify myself here, but I'm going to go to that museum, alright? So don't say I've missed it, but I'm just not going to film it, because it actually goes with, you know, coming to the end of YouTube and how travel is going to be like in the future for me without filming, because I might actually learn something instead of having to film it. No, I haven't missed it. I just do things when I'm not filming, believe it or not. Why is that so difficult to comprehend? Anyway, I'm not going to say it again. The last thing I want to say, right, is that I was going to do this video like a goodbye to northern Mexico, as well as the Pueblo Mágico redemption thing, which, by the way, absolutely, it has redeemed itself. Pueblo Mágico is brilliant. But also, I feel like I don't need to do a big goodbye to northern Mexico because I am a Lagunero now. It's part of me. It's not something I have to say goodbye to because the nature, the behaviour, the aggression, the grumpiness, the unapproachableness, it was part of me anyway, and it will remain to be. Northern Mexico will always be part of me in here forever. I'm not going to cry because I don't do that. I haven't done that since I was about 3. Thank you to northern Mexico. I will see you next time in Mexico City. Can you believe it? Oh my God, I'm really dreading going back there actually. I'm like, how am I going to cope? Like, I have to say hola, buenos dias to abuelitas again. I never do that here. So that's a lot. That's your lot from northern Mexico, all right? Probably forever. So thanks for watching this series. See you next time for the last couple of videos, and I will see you next time. Catch you later. Let's hope I get back.